in February, myself and Colin flew out to Thailand and Laos for a international caving expedition. So we're going to quickly talk about the expedition outline, the expedition itself, our travel to Mai Hong Son, Ban Tham Lod, bit of a history of the area, caves visited, and some future ventures that we might go back to. So the purpose of Expo Thailand was to document and survey new caves, look for new passageways, prospect new, basically try and push the known systems within Thailand and Laos. And as part of that, the team was made up of, I think it was seven people from about five different nations, which included UK, US, myself and Colin from New Zealand, 2 Belgians, and a local Thai caver, and the 2 expert leaders who are from Germany, well, originally Romania, but flew in from Germany. So we started our trip off in Ubon Ratchathani, so I apologise for my pronunciation of any Thai words. I will probably butcher the pronunciations. But this, as a region, this is located in the kind of southeast, close to the border of Laos, which has got an extensive karst area, which was really, really cool to go see. Predominantly sandstone caves, and the cave we visited was called Tam Mued, which give a fun little picture there. So that's as well. So this is literally it's about an hour's tractor ride from the nearest settlement. So pretty middle of nowhere, but it's quite a cool place to experience. So it starts off with a nice wide entrance, big gallery there. Not much to say about it. Bit of rockfall, exciting. There's so we went into the system, followed the streamway initially. Again, like, because of the nature of the caves, it's quite large and open, so most of it was just walking passageway, before we broke off into a passageway to the right, which took us into a large chamber with little offshoots, and some of these offshoots supposedly hadn't been explored yet. So that was kind of part of our tasking for the day, was to just go and explore some potential new routes and try and push the known cave. So the cave's only small. I think it's currently about 500 metres, and we ended up locating a new exit, which is quite exciting. Was it just the one exit, or was it 2 exits we found, Colin? Because we came out a different exit to one we came in.
Yeah, I think I want to say there were 2 new ones we found, and we didn't really get to. But yeah, 2 new entrants.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so first cave in, we managed to find a few new sections of passageway. Again, these are only short sections of passageway. You're talking like at most maybe like 50 meters at absolute most. But it's all going towards pushing the known limits of these systems. So we've got a little froggy there, little guy. There's loads of frogs, loads of bats. So that was our first little bit. We only had like 2-3 days for the first part in Thailand before we were moving on to the actual what we were there to do, which was to be in Laos really. So we left we were staying in Nong Pi, I think it was. So from Nong Pi, went across the border into Laos, and this is where we visited the Khammon province, which is a large province in central Laos, which is very well known for its karst areas among people that visit the area. And due to the nature of the country, it's still got loads of unexplored systems. So we crossed the border from from Thailand into Laos via the third Friendship Bridge, and our first port of call was a cave called, well, it's a cave that's used as a ritualistic space, which is something we found quite a lot within both Thailand and in Laos, is that often caves were used for like Buddhist rituals and their sacred spaces, which is really, really cool to see. So the first cave visited was a really, really small system called Mount Pusai. I think, again, I apologise for pronunciations. This was located just across the border. When you got there, you went up a set of stairs into the system. The system's maybe like, again, at most 50 metres in length. But there was like Buddhist statues, there was a meditation platform in there. It was an amazing space to be in, so that was really cool. So from there we then went to Thakek, and that's where we posted for the night. Second day we then went to a cave which I never found out the name for it. I don't think it is named, but it's near a settlement called Ban Hom Pan. So this is located in quite an unusual part of Laos. So predominantly it's a Buddhist country. So the country itself is a predominantly Buddhist country, and it's also a communist country as well. So there's a lot of authoritarian, ruling of it basically. So where you've got these small pockets of Christian communities, and they're quite heavily persecuted. There's not really religious freedom within Laos. So the cave that we visited was within that pocket of predominantly Christian followers, and this was evident from the entrance of the cave. I'll show you some photos in a minute, but basically as soon as you got there was a cross and a statue of the Virgin Mary walking into it, and when you exited there was another cross. So this was really, really unusual for the area. The cave itself was just a simple tunnel going through the hillside. There were other like small systems going into the side of the hill, but I didn't really get to go into those for reasons. But we'll cover that later. So that was the second one we went to. Third cave is a tourist cave called Tham Nang En. Absolutely amazing cave, massive. So to get into the system, it's all deep water. So you get a boat, they take you to the other side of the cave system, and you can walk around it. It's really cool. And the final cave visited within Laos was Zhengiap, which is located by a what was it? It's like a little homestead type thing, wasn't it, Colin? Basically, it was a cavers camp. So there was bungalows there, and this cave system was just there. Again, real small. Had a pool of water going in, and then it split off into two other exits. Really high ceilings, big chamber, awesome place to visit. So this is the first cave we went to. So you can see the you've got all the statues and everything. So place of ritual. So that there is one of the meditation platforms. So occasionally you'll get people that will go and use it as a space of meditation. This was so you can kind of see it on the first image, where you've got the little statue and the little cross. So that's what you saw going into the space. And you saw it going back the other way as well. So this cave was literally located in the middle of nowhere. Like, you go down a dirt track through like a timber yard, and it's hidden in a little nook really. But it was all just really nice sort of carved out passageway into the hillside, so you can see a little bit of passage in the middle, and little frog there. So there's frogs and spiders and all that good stuff. Ugh. So this is the tourist cave. So nice pretty picture of the exit. So that was going into it. So you go down those stairs, it takes you to the boats, and then you take a boat across. Another pretty picture of a bridge. I think that was for, so as you get off the boat, you then go up some stairs, and that's the bridge that takes you into like the main walking part of the cave system. I'm not sure if I've got any photos of it. No. So in this system, this is another system that's also used as a burial site. So there was there's the graves of three people in there. I believe they're from like, I can't remember if they were part of the royal family or like a local. Basically, they're people of high status, basically. So
yeah, it was high status locals.
Yeah.
Governor, I think, related, but yeah.
So again, amazing to see that. Real cool. So this is one of the surveys that we produced for Zhangliap. This was the only survey. Well, we did do a survey for the unnamed cave. I just haven't got around to processing the information yet. But this is the survey we made for the for Zhangliap, which was nice small little system. So that was some of the work that we did on this trip. Cool. And there's some photos of it, so you can see we didn't need the boat, but we had the boat to go in and could float around, which was quite fun. I'll just move on. And that's basically the sort of terrain of the area. So as you're traveling through, it's all these like massive outcrops. Like, it's a real cool place. Great for rock climbing as well.
Yeah, for context, all of those little lakes and stuff, those are all limestone blobs that have other rocks, sandstone, other stuff, sort of that would have been mixed in and around, and all the things that are not the limestone have eroded away, leaving these like otherworldly like blob dollops of limestone just scattered around the landscape. It's really cool.
It's absolutely awesome place. And yeah, just because I thought it was really interesting. Picture of the street of Thakak. So this was in the Thakak main street. Everywhere you go, you see like communist kind of symbology and stuff. It's very different to what I'm used to. So that was quite exciting. So after a few clashes of personality between the group and the expedition leader, we decided to part ways and travel back to Thailand. So Nick, who's also part of the Far Out Grotto, he knew of a place called the Cave Lodge, which is located in Ban Tham Lod, which is located in the Mai Hon Son region. Basically, our plan was to travel from Laos to Chiang Mai, then Chiang Mai to Ban Tham Lod. So Mai Hon Son it's a region within northern Thailand, very well known for its caving areas. Again, still lots to find out there. There's a really good book that we found out in Thailand that's been published called Caves in Northern Thailand, which documents what's been found so far, like the history of the area. There's constantly new discoveries being made, just because the caving community in Thailand is near enough non-existent. So you do find a lot of international expeditions will go and they'll do prospecting and surveying and all that side of things. So it's about a 4.5 hour car journey north of Chiang Mai, but you can get there via a couple other means. If you do your research beforehand, you can look at taking a minibus, but it does start real quick. So taxi was just an easy option. I think it cost us 2,000 baht for all three of us. So, yeah. Cool. So the village itself, real small settlement, located in the Pangmapa district. It's an ethnically diverse region of the country, so as it's situated close to the Myanmar border, sorry, this is more like an anthropology sort of lecture than a caving lecture. As it's close to the Myanmar border, there's you've got pockets of they're called the Shan. So you find Shan, you find members of the Shan community also across the border in Myanmar. So you get that sort of ethnic spread, which is quite cool. But as well as that, because some of these villages are so like spread out and so remote, you do get like little pockets of other individual cultures that have developed over the millennia and things. So it's really interesting to go and experience. So the language is different, the cuisine's slightly different, the dress is different. It's real cool. The name of the village literally means village of the Lord Cave. So whenever you see the word Tham means cave, and Ban means village or settlement, from my understanding. Cool. So bit of history of the area, because this is one of the few places where they have what's called like coffin caves. So historically the culture in the area historically would used it as part of their burial, like part of their burial practices. So over the last sort of, I think it's been like 30-40 years, as cave systems been discovered, they've discovered these kind of like these coffins that have been carved out of teak, and they've found remains within the coffins that have been deposited into these caves. There's pottery, there's still human remains in some of the cave systems. It's a really, really amazing area historically. So they've got artifacts dating back to I think it's like the Iron Age, Neolithic, well, Iron Age, Bronze Age and Neolithic period, I believe, which is amazing. So there's just a picture of one of the coffin, one of the log coffins there. So this was close to a cave system called Tham. I can't remember off the top. Basically, it translates to I think it was like the Red Cliff Caves. I'll try and work out what the Thai name is for it later. I think it's like Tham Pang Dang, I think it is. But basically, yeah, they found up to 40 of these coffins just hidden away in these caves. They'd be carved out at the foot of the hills, transported up to the burial sites, and that's where they've been left, and they're still there, still really good condition even today. So these are up over 1,000 years old.
Just to confirm, not to step on your toes, Emma, if you can jump back one slide, just to make sure everyone's clear on what is existing in that picture, because looking at these, it was a little bit tricky for me to wrap my head around what was going on here. So they take a teak tree and basically like chop out a middle section, split the big round log in half. So that's what you're actually seeing up there on that's the big bits. The little tiny twigs, if you will, are other teak beams that they put up there so that the coffins don't fall down. So it's just effectively scaffolding to keep it up there. Though technically the true scaffolding that they would have used to get access to is bamboo, and that's how they would have got these, like, because these are massively heavy objects that they've just got like hanging up. So what you see there is sort of a split coffin, and they like hollow out the inside and put the bones in and everything else, and that's stuffed up there. So somebody would have opened the top. And that's what's going on there. Also, I hope I'm not scooping anything in there. Yeah, does that make sense?
That's far better than I could have explained it. I'll go into more about these coffins a little bit later, like, because they're really, really cool. But yeah, just to quickly gloss over some of the caves that we visited. So Tham Pandang, which is the Red Cliff Cave, which off the back of that we got to see these these coffin caves. Skull Cave, which was only discovered 2 years ago, was it? It was a recent discovery. So it was a recently discovered cave which still had human remains in it, and the human remains were dated back to, again, around that sort of Iron Age period, and so you started to see like calcification starting on the bones themselves. There was pottery down there, there was like glass beads and things, absolutely amazing. And then the final cave we went to was Fred's Cave, which was found by a fella called Fred. Amazing system, massive, cavernous place to be, and we, as part of our visit, so Skull Cave we surveyed, Fred's Cave, I think it was Colin and Nick, you guys found a connection between two of the chambers, so like some pretty cool stuff going on. So this is from Thampang Dang, so that's the entrance, nice and pretty. Bit of a rock art. Unfortunately this wasn't as old as I thought it was. I got all excited. That's quite recent apparently. Sad times. But there is rock art in the area that does date back to the Iron Age period. These are documented in books like the Caves of Northern Thailand and other places. Nice big spiders, cause yes. So this is part of the scaffolding that would have once housed some of the coffins on. So yeah, basically all this would have been carried up the hillside. This would have had, I can't remember how many coffins they said it had on the scaffolding, but they would have had multiple levels basically. And sorry, that's Skull Cave. So in the image we saw previously, where they're up high, what they do is build the scaffolding and kind of just like keep building up and up and up as they start interring families. So these log coffins aren't just for one person. They suspect it was used as like a familial kind of like grave basically. So when your family member passed away, they could then be put into this coffin along with other family members. So the way they close up is they're not sealed with nails or anything. They have locking mechanisms on, I think, both ends, and it's just a simple. There's like a block. Something goes over the block, and then they put a pin through it, and that seals up the coffin. So yeah, absolutely amazing to see. But also as well, so a lot of these places had been not raided, but disturbed by hunters, because pig hunters used a lot of these shelters whilst they're out hunting basically. So someone could stay there for a prolonged period of time, do their hunting before returning. So there was a lot of damage caused to these places by people going in and cutting up the coffins for like firewood and stuff like that. So yeah, so this was the entrance to Skull Cave. Got some human bones there. So these were deposited close to the entrance, just down a short climb. Here's the one. This is the only skull that is in the cave system. Again, it's hard to know. I know nothing about bones or caves, so it's really hard to know as to whether or not the body was originally placed there, or if it's been displaced over time, if there's been rock fall on it and all this other stuff. So it's really hard to know what the process of burial was, because there's been so much potential, so much change in the cave over the millennia. But that was freaking cool to see. That's from the entrance. So as you go in and you hit a ledge. There's a short climb down, and that basically takes you into the main passageway And I think this one was down to so you go left, and yeah, this is just going further into the system, which is awesome. So got loads of flow stone, loads of big high ceilings. Here's some pottery that we found, so you can see the striations just sort of running along it, so it looked like sort of it's from an urn. So you can see a few of the shards there. Some more pottery and some more bones. Got some vertebrae there. More bones. I think most of the trip was just me taking photos of bones. And this was the survey that we conducted. So pretty much a full day's surveying. Got the whole thing done. Real awesome cave. Hello, darling. Yeah, so got the whole system done, and that was the end result. Then this is, so on the way to Fred's Cave, there's a large system called, I think it's called Spirit Cave. Basically,
Spirit Well is the name you're looking for, and it's actually just a sinkhole. There's no actual cave in there. It's just this massive hole in the ground. It's really cool though.
It's like 300 meters, something like that. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it depends on which lip you're coming off of. I think it's only about 90, 200 meters at the tallest edge, but I mean, you can see there from the photo that Emma's displayed, like that's a pretty big cliff band. And I think at least 150, if not a solid 200 meters, is one of the abseil lengths.
I remember it was bigger than Howard's Hole. I was like, oh, that's cool. So that was right nearby. This is the inside of Fred's Cave. So pretty much the whole cave system was like this, just big open caverns, loads of flowstone. Real, like it's a dry system, so there's no streamway running through it that we've found. That was like a little nook where you had like a little pond area. I thought I made a pretty cool photo. But yeah, no, like these systems are absolutely incredible. Not as decorated as what we have here in New Zealand. I think their systems are quite young comparatively, although I could be wrong on that. But yeah, like really interesting seeing like sandstone, seeing just the different geology of the area really, and also like sharing the space with other creatures. Because yeah, like pretty much every cave we went into, there was bats everywhere. There was snakes in a couple of the systems we went into. Frogs, like a weird big centipede type thing. Unfortunately, I didn't get a photo of it, but it was big and weird and very like meh. So yeah, absolutely, really, really interesting place to be. And I think that's it. So that's just my little photo slideshow of the trip really. So yeah, so 10 out of 10 would definitely go back to the Cave Lodge, because from there we met the owner, John Spees, I think his name is. He's an Australian caver who's settled in Thailand with his family. He's got a great setup. You basically go stay with him. He's got like kind of like there's got like a bunk room. There's huts that you can rent out, and it's within spitting distance of a whole heap of cave systems. So kind of yeah, that's kind of a brief overview of our trip to Thailand and Laos, really. Yeah, Colin, anything to add?
Like a very abstract, very meta note that you've been incredibly polite with this entire discussion about the trip and very politically expedient. And I will not share anything further so as to undercut any of your generous attitude. I will do this in part because you're recording this?
Yep. So yeah, there was a lot of learnings from this expedition. So if there's anything I can give you as part of this bit of hasty put together presentation, is that doing research into who you're going on expedition with is paramount. So yeah, if you plan on going abroad with anyone, talk to people that have been on their expeditions before. Don't just rely on academic studies and things. What's that? Yeah, don't just rely on academic studies, because that was a bit of a misleading thing to rely on. So yeah, our expedition leader was how to put it, an interesting fella who was very headstrong, and there was some clashing of personalities between us and the whole group. Sorry, between the expedition leader and the whole group. So, yeah. But it was a great experience. So 10 out of 10. Would definitely go back to the countries. Would definitely go back to Thailand. Just not with that expedition. Cool. So I'll leave it there, because I'm sure you've all